Okay. Thank you guys so much for your patience and for joining me here for tonight's lesson. Today has been such a busy and crazy day in a good way. Getting a lot of things done, and I had to kind of make sure the family was set up for some things before I got on here live. So I'm coming to you about 20 minutes after we were supposed to go live, but we're only going to be here for a short amount of time. So welcome to How to Write Your Goals and Stick to a Plan of Action. I'm Cena Martin. Make sure when you're getting on this live, you say hello. I want to make sure you guys can hear me and you can see me clearly. So if you're coming in, go ahead and put in the comments that you can see me and that you can hear me without any problems. Let me just double check real quick before I even start, so I can make sure that everything is working good. Okay, so let me know if you can see me and hear me with no problems. Let me know if you can see me and hear me real clearly, so that I can dig into this lesson tonight. Put a 1 in the comments if you can see me and hear me with no problem. Yes, no? Okay. Okay, good. All right, so I'm going to dig in then. Make sure you say hello to me in the comments when you come on. Let me know what city and state you're in so that I can shout you out and I can say hello. If you're watching this on the replay, make sure you put #replay in the comments so that I can thank you for being here. And most importantly, make sure you share this video out. Share it out. My name is Cena Martin. If you're new to me or you're new to this community or new to my face, let me introduce myself and welcome you and thank you for being here. I help millennial moms catch their confidence and heal from emotional abuse so that they can stop accepting other people's opinions and realities as their own, and so that they can have more confidence than they've ever had before in their entire lives. And I believe that you have a uniqueness inside of you. I believe you have a uniqueness that no one else on this earth really has. And I believe that you can really step into your bigger vision and you can achieve those highly successful results that you always wanted to achieve for yourself and for your family and for your children. But it requires that you write and you plan and you stick to your goals. So I want to help you do that. And I know that I can help you do that. I am opening the doors up to my brand new signature program, Confident You, on January 12th. So listen to me. Listen to me right now. If you want to stop telling yourself that you are not worthy, that you're unworthy, that you're not good enough, and you want to invest in yourself now, not later down the year, you want to do it right now so that you can have much more confidence and so that you can live a life where you know in your core that you're unstoppable and nothing can get into your way. You and I need to get on the phone, and this is something you need to be a part of. So I'm opening up my schedule for you for a very, very short amount of time. So don't take long. Actually, right now, stop what you're doing and go schedule a Confident You strategy call with me so we can explore if and how I'll be able to help you. The link is in the bio. Depending on where you're watching this, the link is above or below this video. So go schedule your call if you want to learn more about that and be a part of that program when it opens on January 12th. Okay, so tonight's lesson, which I'm really excited to bring this to you guys, because I just was doing some incredible planning for this before I came on to the live, and I really, really, really want to share this lesson that it just hit me earlier today when I was studying, and I know it's something that I meant to share with you. So this lesson tonight is for that parent or that entrepreneur or that stay-at-home mom who is overwhelmed, struggling to recreate the success you might have had before in your past. Maybe you've dealt with a lot of things in your past. You've gone through some trauma. You've gone through abuse. You've gone through emotional pain. Somebody's hurt you really badly. or, you know, you're staring at your goals that you've written for 2019 or for whatever whatever amount of time you've written those goals for, and you're wondering how you're going to get it all done. If you're stuck in that process and you are really struggling to turn your dreams and your desires into a reality, or you don't even know what your desires are, you have no idea and you're struggling to figure that out, then this lesson is going to help you get to the root of what it is you really want, number one. But then number two is going to help you break that down into small steps so that you can take action on that day in and day out and stick to your plan of action. If that's you, put a 1 in the comments below, so I know I'm talking to the right person. If that's you, put a 1 in the comments below, so I know I'm talking to the right person. 1, good. Let me dig into a story I wanted to share with you before I go into this information and how you can really write your goals out and stick to them so that you can execute your plan of action and you can find more confidence within yourself. I remember the day, well, let me just take you back. I'll describe it to you. Just picture it in your head for a second. I left school early on this breezy, pretty nice spring day. And I am a senior at this moment in high school, and I am leaving school in a pretty weird mood. I had an appointment set up, or I have an appointment set up to go meet a counselor that's about 15 minutes from my school, just a walk down the street, maybe 10, 15 minutes down the street. And I'm a little nervous to sit down and talk to her. She's going to help me, you know, figure out why I've been feeling really different. My body is changing. Some things are going on. I kind of have an idea of what's happening, but I'm not real sure. So I'm nervous to talk to her, but I'm excited because it's a nice day, honestly. And even if the conversation with her goes bad, then, you know, I'll be able to just enjoy the rest of the day since I got out of school early this day. So I walked the 10 minutes down the hill to her office, which is inside a community. It's inside of a community center where they help women, young women who are in college and in school, in high school and in college, come and get counseling and mentorship. So I go in the office. I remember it was freezing cold in there. It's freezing cold inside. They have the air conditioner turned on. And there's this long, dark path that leads to the back of her office. And she says, "Hi, you know, thank you for coming in. Go ahead and walk towards the back and have a seat in my office." So I'm like, okay, this is there's nobody here. It's really quiet. It's freezing cold in here. Okay, let's go so I can get this done and get out of here. I walk to the back of her room and we talk, and I tell her about my body and the changes I've been going through and what's happening. And, you know, I'm in dual enrollment. I'm in high school and college at the same time. And I have all these great plans ahead of me because I'm getting ready to finish high school in a few months. And my plans are to leave and move to LA so I can go to UCLA full time and study to become a paralegal. So she kindly asked me to, you know, answer some questions, take some tests. And then she asked me to sit and wait for a few moments while she goes and reads results and comes back. I wait, and she comes back in the room in about 15 minutes, felt like an hour. And she kindly sits down and she goes, "You're pregnant." And I said, "No, I'm not. No way. I'm not pregnant. Something must be wrong." So I said, "Can you test me again?" "Sure." She takes me through the process once more, and I sit and I wait and I wait. And we take the test 3 times total. All 3 of the tests are positive. I'm 17 years old with 4 scholarships to go to different colleges, and I'm pregnant. And I completely come into full shock. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I have no job. I have no plan other than to leave Pennsylvania and fly across the country, away from my family, away from my friends, away from everybody I know, so I can go chase this dream and live independently and, you know, do what I see people do on the movies and on TV. all of that changes in that one moment. And she sits and she says to me, whatever you need, whatever you do, I'll be here for you. We'll be here for you. But you're going to need a plan. You will not succeed at this without a plan. So I get up, I leave her office, I walk out, I take the walk home, which is about 20 minutes from her office to my home, to go discuss this with my mom. And I'm in complete shock. But I'm also happy because in this very moment, something in me switches on, and I decide that if I am bringing a new life into this world, what I'm going to do is make sure that I become the best woman I can possibly be so that this baby has a much better life than anyone in my family did. And so that I can give him everything he needs to be successful in his own life too. I won't fail him, 17 or not, teenage mom or not. I'm not going to fail him. My will wouldn't let me turn away from the fact that I was about to become a mother. Everything changed in that second. I felt it in my bones, in my body, in my soul, that I was going to do something different so that this child could have everything he needed to be successful. He wasn't going to fail because his mom was 17. He wasn't going to fail because his family struggled for generations before him. I was going to change. And in that very moment, in that office with that counselor, I sat there and I told her, I need a couple of days. I'm going to go discuss this with my mom and my parents, and I'll be back. And I did that. And I told everybody who needed to be told. And I came back to her and I made my plan. I found my willpower. I decided I was going to learn how to be the best me and the most abundant me so my son could do the same thing, who I didn't know was a son at the time, but turned out to be a son. And I made my plan and I stuck to it. I just want to take you through what I did in that moment, because in that 9-year period, my son's now 9, in that 9-year period, many things I didn't accomplish, but the things I did accomplish were the exact things I wanted to do and I wanted to set up so that my son could be set up for a much more successful life than me or anyone who came before me ever had. And the things I did from 17-year-old mom to 27-year-old, stable entrepreneur, teenage mom who still became successful. What I did in that period is what I'm going to share with you in the next 10, 15 minutes so that you can also figure out how to write your goals, stick to your goals, and stick to your plan of action for this year. Because maybe you're not becoming a mother. Maybe you're not becoming a parent, but maybe you want to be successful in that business finally. Maybe you finally want to stop working at that job that you go to every single day or every other day, and you want to finally stay home and work from home. Maybe you want to be able to support yourself because you're going into retirement or you're older, and you want to leave something for your grandchildren or your children. Or if you're a young parent or a young mom, or you're not a parent at all, and you just want to set yourself up and plan so that when you do decide to expand your family and when you do decide to move into those next places, that you're ready for it. Let me dig into this content and share with you what I did. There's a few steps I took to write my goals, stick to my goals, and then stick to my plan of action. And yes, at many times I was terrified. I was afraid. Many times I used fear as an excuse. Many times I procrastinated, and many times I dropped the ball on it, and I didn't move accordingly the way I should have. But what I realized in the very beginning, those very first few years when he came, when I had him in the hospital, when I struggled after having him to find a job, to provide a living for him in the beginning, when I went through the depression after having him and still trying to keep a smile on my face because I can't show my child, depression. I had to keep it in and bottle it up and hide it from everybody else around me. When I was going through all of those things, and I still kept going towards my goals, and I still kept going for my success, the first thing I figured out was my mind had to change. The way I was thinking had to change. And the first step I took in doing this, and the first step you should take in doing this, is to do what I call welcoming your willpower. You have to welcome in your willpower. And what that means is you basically look at where you are right now. You look at where you are and you look at your goals and you say to yourself, okay, how can I exert power and take back control over the things that I know I should be controlling in my life? Now, this is going to take self-reflection. You can't do this if your default, well, let me not say that. It's not that you can't do it. If your default go-to is to always blame what's going on outside of you and accuse other people as to the reason why you don't have the business yet, you're not successful, you don't have the man yet, you don't have the life that you want to have yet, right? If you're always blaming other people, I could have easily blamed everybody around me, my friends, my boyfriend, this and that, for why I got pregnant at 17. But then I had to say to myself, I did that. I didn't do it alone, but I did. The first step is you have to really just take that responsibility that you got you here. Yeah, it might have been some other circumstances. Like I said, you might have been abused in the past. You might have had some problems, some things in your childhood that got you here. But at the end of the day, you've been an adult for so many years, whatever amount of time that is, and you still had habits and ways of thinking and ways of being that got you to this position. So you have to take responsibility for that. You did that. So the first step to redirecting yourself and getting out of that habit is to do what I call welcoming your willpower. Welcome your willpower. And say to yourself, I do have the power to control my decisions and my actions. I do have the power to say, I want to stop being the person who blames everybody else when things go wrong. I want to be the reason that I can get up and set goals and stick to them and work my plan every single day, even if it takes me a year, even if it takes me 5 years, even if it takes me 10 years, even if it takes me 90 days. I can do that. I can do this. Even though people told me my whole life I wasn't good enough, I couldn't have that, I didn't deserve that type of money, I didn't deserve that type of man, I did it anyway. And you know why this is so empowering, and I'm telling you this, with the passion that I'm telling it to you with, is because I went through that. I had a church family. Let me say this. I had a church leader who was he was basically the pastor, right? Over many, many, many districts. And he told me to my face, I was not wife or mother material. 48 months before I had my son, he told me I was not wife or mother material. And here I am, so many years later, basically living the life of both, or about to be living the life of both. So people are going to tell you all the time what you can't be, what you don't deserve. You have to take back that power to say to yourself, I'm going to change the way I'm thinking about it. I don't care if they told me I can't do this. I'm going to do it anyway. So that's the first step. You got to welcome in your willpower and open it up. And that's what happened to me when I walked outside of that woman's office that day when I found out I was pregnant. My willpower, I welcomed it in. And I decided to take responsibility, and I decided to control what was going on in my life and how it was going on in my life. That's the first step. I'm going to get to writing your goals, but this is the step to this is the first thing you have to do to even be able to approach your goals in a way where you have any chance of actually succeeding at accomplishing them. Okay, so that was the first step. Put a 1 in the comments if that makes sense to you. And you following me here. 1, good. Okay. Second thing, the second step, the second thing you want to do when you are writing your goals out, writing your goals out, goal setting, and then sticking to a plan of action. Because like I said in the beginning, you might even be that person who you don't know what you want. You have no idea what your desires are. You just have like the generic answers. When somebody asks you what you want out of life, your answer is, oh, I just want to be successful. Oh, I just want to, have my financial freedom number. What does that mean? You got to get way more specific than that, because what you put out, people always say this, what you put out into the universe, and I say what you pray for, if it's not specific enough, how does God know what to really give you? Yes, he knows your heart, and yes, he knows what to give you anyway. He knows what you need. But when it comes to what you want and what you're asking for, you got to be specific enough to know how to lay that out, know how to map that out in very clear, defining details so that it can be given to you the way you're asking for it. So there's a very clear difference between saying, I just want to find me a good man in 2019. I just want to find me a good man this year. And then saying, I want a man who is spiritually tuned in and who honors, God the way that I do. And he celebrates the different days and the holy days the way I do. And he understands he understands that God is our center. And he understands that we need to move as a unit. We need to be a team. We need to attack our goals together, one on one, so that we can accomplish things as we go over the time of our relationship, over the time of us being together. Because our relationship and this time that we're spending together is an investment. I'm not wasting my time just dating you. I'm not trying to Netflix and chill. It's an investment. That's a big difference than just saying, I want to find a man. So you got to get real specific like that. And that's why the second step, and the second thing I would help you do if you do decide to apply for the Confident You strategy call, is we would go through that. What's your desire? I would tell you to think outside the box. That's your next step. Think outside the box. After you welcome your willpower, you got to think outside the box. Get real specific about your goals and your desires and what it is you want. Do you have to go start that Kickstarter campaign? Do you have to put the PayPal Me link out on Facebook, or can you raise the funds you need another way? Do you have to, go every day to the auditions because, you want to be an actress, you want to get into the movies and the TV, but do you have to go, exhausting all your resources? Do you have to go out there and be trying to do this every single day, auditioning, getting turned down, not being able to get through the door like you want to? Or can you just write your own movie script, create your own online show, create your own platform so that jobs and opportunities come to you and you're not knocking on the door trying to get somewhere where you feel like you're not welcomed anyway? Can you change the game up? Can you switch it up a little bit? Can you be an innovator? Think outside the box. Think outside the box. Find the route. This is what I always say when it comes to setting your goals and figuring out what goals it is that you really want. Find the route that most people will not take, and take that route. I'm not saying reinvent the wheel, but find the route that most people refuse to take and they won't take, and you take that route. You do it. You do it. The trick is to make a plan that you completely believe in. It might be ridiculous. It might be astronomical. It might be something you've never seen anybody that you're related to or you're friends with or anything ever do before, but you have to make a plan you completely believe in, which means assessing what skills you already have, what your resources already are, who you already know, who's in your network, who your contacts are, same thing, and what's achievable in the shortest amount of time. In the shortest amount of time. What's achievable in the shortest amount of time? That's the parameters you need to be paying attention to. That's your prompt. So if you're taking notes on this and you want to write that out, that's what you need to be. That's the questions you should be asking yourself and answering. Think outside the box with your dreams and your goals. Okay? Don't be boring. All right, step 3. And this is where I wanted to get into what I was studying earlier today, and I'm going to share this with you guys. This is what I wanted to get into today. Your belief. Your belief. That's the third step. It is about what you believe. It is about how you think. This whole month, we'll be talking about mindset and the importance of your mindset and how your mindset plays such a key role in how confident you are, how much you accomplish, how successful you are, how you get to that next goal. If you have goals laid out for the next 90 days, how you hit each one of your goals for the next 90 days on track. Your mindset plays into all of that and the way you think. And that's why the very first thing I told you I did when I found out that I was about to be a mom was I welcomed my willpower, and then I went right to my mindset. Okay, I can goal set. I can put my goals down. Great. How do I need to think about these goals and think about me as a person so that I can actually have the energy and the confidence and enthusiasm to wake up every morning and go accomplish these goals? Right? So here's what I was studying, and this is where the parable of the talents comes in. Here's where the parable of the talents comes in. There's two different ways you can look at your goals and what you're trying to accomplish. There's the mindset of the diligent, and then there's the mindset of the hasty. There's the mindset of the diligent, and then there's the mindset of the hasty. The diligent person, let's go to the hasty person first. The hasty person wants everything quick. They want quick results. They want microwavable results. They want to be rich in a short amount of time by doing nothing. They want to not show up to the lessons and the calls, and they want to not study, and they want the results to fall in their lap anyway. They go the fast route. They're attracted to the fast route. They're attracted to people who did it quickly. It's foolish. And I'll tell you what happens when a person has the hasty mindset. I'll tell you the results of that in a second. Now, the opposite of that is the diligent mindset. The diligent mindset is the person who exists in a complete state of dedication. It is the person who is willing to tirelessly look after their investments and look after their goals and their dreams and tend to the way they are going about the things that they are trying to accomplish. I'm gonna give you an example and be more specific. Let's go back to the person, if this is you, or you can apply this to whatever goal it is you're working on right now. But this goes back to you if you're the one who wants to be the actress and you're going out to the auditions every single day, right? So the diligent one figures out the route that most people don't want to take, right? And studies it, pays attention, looks at the trends that's going on around her neighborhood, or gets in touch with the people who can give her sound advice and sound counsel and who can guide her. And she doesn't just take the advice. She doesn't just get next to these people just because she wants the clout or because she just wants to, shake elbows and be next to and be friends with these people who have the names and have the exposure already and who already have the jobs and things like that just to get the opportunity. She's not being an opportunist because that would be the hasty mindset. The diligent mindset wants to study and wants to learn and wants to implement. And regardless of what's going on around her in her life, how much, things may not be turning out the way she wants, or let's flip it over, no matter how busy she is, no matter how the kids are acting that day, no matter what needs her husband has, regardless of what's going on in her life, she's diligent, she's dedicated. She's dedicated. Her mind is only on plenteousness. Her mind is only on abundance. Okay, so this is where the parable of the talents come in, because if you never read the parable of the talents, it's in the Bible. It's in Matthew chapter 25. And when I was going through it today, the end of the parable really is what caught on to me. And if you don't know what it is, I'm going to summarize it for you right here. So there was a man who was, he was basically like lord over a certain amount of man. He was a very, very wealthy and important man. And he was going to travel to a faraway city. And before he went to his travels, he called 3 of his servants, and he basically divvied out to 3 of his servants different amounts of money. He gave one servant 5 pieces of money or the talents. He gave another one 2, and he gave another one 1. And then he went about his travels. So the 3 men went out. The first one went out and he took the 5 and he went to, traded it, and he turned the 5 into 10. The second one went out, did the same thing. He took the 2, traded it, and turned it into 4. And the last one took the 1 that he had and he went and buried it and hid it underneath the ground. So the man comes back from his travels, the very important man comes back from his travels, and he comes and he asks the men, he gathers them all together, and he came for his interest. He came back for his payment. He asked them, okay, what have you done with what I've given you? So the one that had the 5 said, look, you gave me 5, I turned it into 10. Here you are. And the man said, my good and faithful servant, you've done well. I'm going to bless you with much more. You've been faithful with few. I'm going to bless you with much more. Enter into the joy of your Lord. That's what he said. And then the one that had the 2 came back and said, hey, I have 4. He said the same thing to him. Good and faithful servant, enter into the joy. The one that had the 1 was upset. The one that had the one said to him, "Oh, sir, I know you to be a man who is hard on those people around you. And I know you to be a man who, is hard. And I know that you reap where you don't sow. You get back in places you've never even sowed any seed. And you have a lot." That's basically what he was saying. You have a whole lot. I know you to be a man who's hard and you have a lot. So I was afraid. And I took the one that you gave me and I went and buried it. I know you get a lot when you don't do anything over there. You go places and you get. So I went and buried it. I was afraid. You're a hard man. I was scared of you. So here, I have the one that you gave me. I'm giving you back what is yours. He called them lazy, basically wicked, hasty, and said, "You're cast out in the darkness." Now, the reason that parable is so... it is everything to this lesson and to your mindset is this. If you pay attention to that last man, and this is the part that really got me, that last man had the mindset of a hasty person. A hasty person will always end up in poverty. A hasty person, if you keep reading the rest of the end of the 25th chapter, the end of it, he says to him that he actually said to him before he cast him out in the darkness, he said, "You lazy and evil." And then he said, "Give me the one you have and give it to the man that has 10. Then he took it away from him. And he said, "The one that has nothing will always lose what he has. And the one who has abundance will always get more abundance." The mindset of that is a hasty person who is jealous, envious, upset. He lets fear stop him. He's afraid to move forward. He looks at somebody who has and says, "Oh, they already have it all. And, it's no need for me to contribute to their abundance. They already got it all, And it's just an envious, jealous, lazy attitude. He literally calls him at the end a worthless, unprofitable servant. So if you are the person that seems like every time you go to do something, there's no profit that comes out of it. You always feel like other people have the one up and you don't. You always try to get to this point of abundance, or you always feel like fear is stopping you, or you're using fear as an excuse. And you see yourself kind of having some of these similar traits as that man. Ask yourself if you have a hasty mindset or a diligent mindset. Because the third step is your belief, your mind. What are you believing? What happened with the first two, and I'm actually going to wrap this up here. I'm not going to finish the other two because we can stop right here, but I want you to take this lesson with you before I end. What happened with the other two was that they had the mind to take that abundance and create more. It doesn't matter that it was 1, that it was 2, or that it was 5. It doesn't matter how much it was. If you notice the lesson in that, they had the mindset to take what they already had, take what they were given, which was a blessing, and to go out and create more with it. So I'm going to put that into your example. Say you're that woman, or you're that mom who's going out there and you want to be an actress, but you have a limited income that comes in every month. You only have a certain amount of money you make every month. Well, are you acting like that unprofitable, lazy servant who took his one that wasn't even his and buried it and hid it because he was looking at the man that had, like, oh, he has so much already, he doesn't need any more? Are you looking at everybody around you who could help you spread your abundance, who could help you get to where you're trying to go, who could help you if you help them? Are you looking at them envious, with envy, with evil, with jealousy? Are you looking at them with a heart that's not pure because of what they were blessed with? Or are you like the one who had the 2 or the 5 and taking what you have and going out there and making it more and making it more and making it more? It's really about the mindset, because whatever mindset you have, that's how you're going to approach your own problems. You're going to approach the thought you have of you not being good enough with more negative thoughts. You're going to pour more negativity on top of it. Right? Well, oh, if my mother would have never told me this, or if I never had a bad relationship with my mother, I never would be here. I wouldn't think like this. It's her fault. You acting like that man with the hasty mindset. You got to ask yourself this stuff. You got to ask yourself these questions because it's super important and it really does matter. And when I kept reading that over and over and over and over again, I was just, I was really blown away by the end. And the fact that, God and this this power that we all have inside of us and that we all are surrounded by completely has the intention for us to succeed and not fail, to be abundant and not in lack, for us to get to where we're looking to go. If it's clean, if it's pure, if it's a good intention, it wants us to succeed. So you just sitting down to write your goals, the intentions around you are already for you to succeed. It's really up to you whether you succeed at them or not. And it is about how you think. That's the whole thing. The whole point is to have a plan and to be aware of how you're thinking about the plan. So you need to seriously ask yourself, if you have the hasty mind versus the diligent mind, which one are you? Are you the man that's upset and goes and buries what you have, waste it away? You don't save. You don't put your money where it's going to grow. You don't put your time where it's going to go. You don't invest in yourself when opportunities present themselves to you for you to grow. You don't book the calls when you need to. You don't join the live streams when they're given to you. You don't participate in the community when it's there for you. How are you looking at it is my question, because that's a direct reflection to what your results are. Ask yourself that. That's everything. That's everything. So I want to answer the last question before I leave you with this. I want to answer the last question. I'm sorry. I want to answer this last section before I leave you with this. The last part of this was, how do you stick to your plan of action? Because now you know how to find your goals, how to write them, how to stick to them, and how do you stick to your plan of action? You stick to your plan of action by just taking a step every single day. That's it. It's really simple. Take a step every single day. You are not going to change how you're thinking about these things and how you're approaching it in an instant. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not microwavable. And you know how I noticed? I struggle with this a lot. I was the person who had a hasty mindset. Another thing about a person that has a hasty mindset is they're always in want. They always want. They don't know how it feels to just have abundance and just have what you need. And it just is there. A person who is a hasty mindset, a person who has and who is a hasty mindset type of person, always wants. They are never satisfied. Does that sound familiar? Because if it does, you need to watch this lesson 2 or 3 or 4 times. And then you need to make sure you book a Confident You strategy call so you and I can get on the phone and talk about how to help you move past this, if I can help you at all. Okay? That's all I wanted to share with you. I hope this blessed you in some way. This helps you get to where you're trying to go in this next week, in your goals that you have for this new period coming up. Share your goal with me right now. You're watching this at the end. Put your goal in the comments and let me know, what are you trying to achieve? What are you striving for? What are you looking for? Put it in the comments below so I can support you, or the community can support you. And here's my action item for you today or tonight, depending on when you're watching this or listening to this. My action item for you is for you to apply for my 8-week program, Confident You. Apply for it. Book the Confident You strategy call. It might not be for you. We might not even have the conversation. If I can help you, and if there are spaces available, then we can have a talk about which part of this you're struggling with and how I can help you get to where you're looking to go. If you found value in this lesson, the program is going to change your life. I'll be sharing over the next few conversations you and I are going to have what's all in this program. If it's for you, if it's not for you, what you need to be looking for. But go ahead and book your call so that we can get on the phone and talk about how to get you from a hasty mindset to a diligent mindset, or how to get you in a position where you're writing your goals, you're identifying what your goals are, you're welcoming your willpower, you're activating your abundance mindset, and you're really sticking to your plan so that your plan produces results. No way did I think I was going to go from being a teenage mom who never had a strong relationship with my mom, was totally emotionally abused physically abused, molested, all of that. Never did I think I was going to go from that girl who was so broken, who was so angry, who was so toxic, who was dying inside, to sitting here and being associated with and encouraging and empowering women just like you to get up and find the uniqueness inside themselves and believe in themselves in a way they never have before. Never did I thought I was going to be doing this, but here I am doing it. And it's not just me. There are dozens of women that will tell you that we've worked together and they feel the same way. They're doing the same thing. They're changing lives because they changed their own. They changed their own first. Isn't it time for you to do that? If the answer is yes, book your Confident You strategy call. I can't wait to speak with you. And I'll see you for the next conversation in the next lesson. Share this out with somebody who needs it, and have a good rest of your day or night. Love you. Bye.